There are a total of 144 of them. They call themselves Quendi, which means who speak with voices, as they met no other living thing that spoke or sang. The elves consist of 3 clans, 14 make up the Vanyar, which means firsts, 56 are the Tatyar meaning seconds, and the largest group at 74 is the Nelir meaning, you guessed it, thirds. They also refer to themselves as the Lindar or singers because they are known for their beautiful voices, or maybe it's because they didn't care to be known as thirds. After Orome discovers the elves in YT 1085, he invites them to live in Valinor. A little less than half decide to follow the huntsman, including all 14 of the Vanyar, half of the Tatyar, and 46 of the Nelir. The elves who decide to take the journey are collectively called the Eldar, or People of the Stars, by Orome. The 82 that remain behind are known as the Avari, which means the unwilling. Many of the Avari were fearful and distrusting of Orome and the Vala after hearing lies of Melkor. While some of this group would eventually make their way westward, it is believed that some are captured by Melkor, who tortures and corrupts them to create the race of the orcs. The journey back to the Eldar. So we have the Vanyar, Tatyar, and the Nelir making the journey. During this journey, Orome gives each clan new names. The Vanyar become the Vanyar, the Tatyar become the Noldor, and the Nelir become the Teleri. Orome leads the Eldar north of the Sea of Helkar, and they pass by the ruins of the battle between Melkor and the Vala. At this point, some of the elves flee out of fear, and nothing else is known about them, though it's possible they return to join the Avari. Years later, Orome and the Eldar pass through Greenwood. They rest by the shores of the Anduin River while the huntsman tries to determine how he will get the elves over the Hithiglir, what would later be known as the Misty Mountains, which was considerably taller in the early days of Middle-earth. In YT 1115, Orome returns and takes them by the High Pass, the very same pass that would border Rivendell ages later. As most of the group presses on, a group of the Teleri goes south. This group is known as the Nandar, meaning those who go back. From the Nandar, we get the Sylvan Elves, or Wood Elves, who would inhabit the later realms of Mirkwood and Lorien. Later, some of the Nandar would make their way into Beleriand and live in Usiriand. These elves are known as the Likendi or Green Elves. Once again, we return to the Eldar. They pass through Eriador on what would one day be known as the Great West Road. In YT 1125, the Vanyar and the Noldor cross the Erd Luin and reach Beleriand. The Teleri, meanwhile, are lagging behind in Eriador. As we know by now, if you aren't part of the main pack, you're gonna get a new name. So this is the actual moment when the Nelir come to be known as the Teleri. In YT 1128, the Teleri finally enter Beleriand, east of Gelion. During this time, their leader, Elwi, later known as Thingol, meets and falls in love with the Maya Melian in the forest of Nan. Elmoth. Trapped in an enchantment of their own making, they would not be seen for over 200 years. In YT 1132, the Vanyar and the Noldor are taken across the sea on Tol Eressëa, an island which the Vala Ulmo uses to ferry the elves across the Belagare. The Teleri are too far away and don't hear the summons of Ulmo. In the meantime, some Teleri come to the shores of Beleriand, where they come to love the sea. Ulmo returns for the Teleri in YT 1150, and most of them take the trip to Valinor. However, some of the Teleri remain behind once again, becoming the Sindar or Grey Elves, while some of the Sindar would settle in realms like Mithrim or Doriath. Under a reappeared King Thingol, another group settles on the shores of Beleriand. In a region called Falas, they become known as the Falathrim, and Círdan is their lord. Meanwhile, in Oman we now have the entire groups of the Vanyar and Noldor, as well as a group of the Teleri. These Teleri are also known by the name Falmari. Back in Middle-earth, all the clans of the elves who do not make the journey to Valinor, that is, the clans, the Avari, the Sylvan Elves, the Likendi, Green Elves, the Sindar, and the Falathrim are collectively known as the Morikendi, the Elves of Darkness. These are not dark elves in the sense of being evil, but they are simply a Vanyar, not of Aman. They are dark elves in the sense that they never beheld the light of the two trees in Valinor. Together, the Vanyar, Noldor, and the Falmari are called the Likendi, the Elves of Light. Or Light Elves, as they have seen the light of the two trees and lived in the Blessed Realm. These elves and their descendants would come to be known as the High Elves according to the Dúnedain. The High,